Okay, so let's move on to the next chapter, which is standard costing. So guys, in this chapter, standard costing, standards are fixed by the organization. Okay, those standards are then compared with actuals. And once we compare the standards with actuals, we figure out that there are some differences between the standards that were fixed and the actuals. Those differences are known as deviations, or they can also be called as variances. And variances can be favorable, or they could be unfavorable or adverse. Okay, so if we have a favorable variance, we will write it like this, F in brackets, and adverse A or unfavorable U, as the case may be. I usually use these two. Okay, so now your cost can be divided into the following, and based on this only we will be calculating the deviations or the variances. So material, labor and overheads. So we will be calculating our deviations or variances for material, for labor, for overheads. Now overheads have two parts: variable overhead, fixed overhead. So the overhead variances will be categorized into variable overhead variances and fixed overhead variances. So we will directly move on to material variances. Okay, material variances. Guys, so material variances are divided into the following. The overall material variance is called as material cost variance. Okay, we will see how to calculate it. Now, material cost variance is further subdivided into material price variance or material usage variance. So, MCV, overall cost. MPV, because of deviations in the price or the rates of materials purchased, okay, and materials used basically. And MUV, material usage variance. This is due to the quantities of materials which have been used. Now MUV could arise, or why is there a deviation in the quantity? It is because of two reasons. Okay, one is material mix variance, MMV. So I was supposed to use material in the ratio 1:2. I ended up using material in the ratio 2:1. Change in mix. Okay, material yield variance. Material yield variance is because of loss in processing. I thought the loss will be this much, it ended up being this much. Okay, so this is MYV. Okay, so we will be calculating variances for all these components. Okay, so my method is simple. We have 4 components to calculate. Okay, they vary from M1 to M4. So M1, M2, M3, M4. So let's see what each of them stand for. Okay, what is M1? Actual cost of materials consumed. What do you understand by this? Actual cost of materials consumed. So M1 is actual quantity of input into actual material cost per unit of input. In other words, AQ into AP. So what is AQ? Actual quantity. What is AP? Actual price. Okay, actual price. Next, M2. What is M2? Standard cost of actual material quantity. So understand the statement, standard cost of actual material quantity. So without seeing that, what do you think M2 is going to be? AQ into SP. Correct? M2 is actual quantity of input into standard material cost per unit of input. So M2 is actual quantity into standard price or standard rate. So this is standard rate. Standard rate. So guys, M1 was AQ into AP. M2 is AQ into SP. Okay. M3. Let's read this. Standard cost of actual material quantity in standard ratio. So actual material quantity in standard ratio. So whatever is your actual material quantity, that will be divided in the standard ratio. So remember, this can be found out only if there are multiple materials. If we are only calculating for one material, then there is no question of mix. There won't be a mix, right? For mix, there has to be more than one material. Right? So what if they said actual quantity in standard ratio into standard price. So actual quantity of input in standard ratio into standard material cost per unit of input. So M1 was AQ into AP. M2 was AQ into SP. M3 AQ but in standard ratio into SP. So guys, we don't use SQ. We don't use SQ. And even AP is used only once. So majorly if you see, we started with AQ. AQ. This is also AQ. Correct? But see here, AP is only used here. SP, SP. And going forward also we will see what to do. Correct? So which is more important between the two? That's what I'm trying to tell you. Okay? So M3 standard ratio has to be maintained. But it is still actual quantity only. So actual quantity, not an actual ratio. Actual quantity and standard ratio into standard price. M4. This is little different. Standard material cost for actual production. Standard material cost for actual production. So what are we going to start this with? Actual production. That is the actual number of units produced into standard material cost per unit of output, because I'm taking output here, actual production. So actual production into standard material cost per unit of output. So once I have my M1, M2, M3, M4 in place, then what am I supposed to do? So material cost variance split into material price variance and material usage variance. Material usage variance split into material mix variance, material yield variance. So how do you calculate material cost variance? M1, M2, M3, M4. Biggest minus smallest. M4 minus M1. M4 minus M1 gives us material cost variance. Now M2 will join. So it's always big minus small. Please remember that. So M4 minus M1, not M1 minus M4. Okay. So now M2 will join here. So if M2 joins, what will happen? So M2 minus M1 will be your MPV. MUV will be M4 minus M2. Guys, okay. So 2 first got paired with 1, then 2 got paired with 4. Okay. So once I have M4 minus M2, now M3 will join in. So once M3 joins in, M3 minus M2 will be your material mix variance. That's why you have to remember the order. Don't screw up the order. If you put yield first and mix later, gone. So it has to be in this order only. Okay. So M3 minus M2. And material yield variance will be M4 minus M3. So first 2 gets paired with 1, then 2 gets paired with 4. Then 3 gets paired with 2, 3 gets paired with 4. Guys, okay. Everything has to tally. Shall we solve a problem? Yes. Come, we'll read a problem. Labor variances. Now, unlike material variances, labor variances has 5 variants. So, material variances had 4 variants, right? M1, M2, M3, M4. Labor has 5 variants: L1, L2, L3, L4, L5. Okay, so we'll see what these variants are. Guys, L1 same as M1. What is M1? AQ into A, P or AR. Correct. Now here in labor you can't have quantity. So you have R's. So AH into AR. Rate. Same. No change. So see here, actual labor cost incurred for actual time paid. So actual time paid AH, actual labor hour, rate AR. So L1, M1 same. No change. Okay. Next. L2 same as M2. What is M2? AQ into SR. So this is also the same thing. AQ will not come, AH will come into SR. So labor cost for actual time paid but on standard rate. So L2 is actual quantity of input, labor input. Actually not quantity at all. I don't know why this is given. Please change it. Make it actual time paid. Actual time paid into standard labor rate. Correct? So AH into SR. Same thing. Just like M1 and M2. Now guys, M3 was what? Actual quantity in standard ratio. Here we change. Okay, here we change. Why? Because L3 is standard cost of actual hours worked. So now it is no longer AH. It is AHW. Actual hours worked. So actual hours paid minus actual hours worked. What does it give you? Idle time. It gives you idle time. Okay. Actual hours paid. I'm paying you for full 10 hours, but you are working only for 8 hours. Which means for 2 hours I'm paying you, but you're not doing anything. That is idle time. Correct? So this is actual hours worked. That is actual time paid for minus idle time into standard labor rate. So AHW into SR. So this is AH into SR. This is AHW into SR. So here you have to remove that idle time. Guys, okay. So what is AHW? Actual hours minus idle time. What are these actual hours? whatever we have paid for. Okay. Now L4, guys, same as M3. What is M3? Actual quantity and standard ratio. This is also the same thing. Actual hours worked, not paid. Actual hours worked in standard ratio into standard rate. Same, no change. Just like M3. Just like M3. So standard cost of actual hours worked in standard ratio, that is nothing but actual hours worked in standard ratio into standard labor rate. So same as M3, no change. Actual quantity in standard ratio. Here also actual hours, but which hours? Paid or worked? Worked in standard ratio into standard rate. Okay. L5, same as M4. Same. So actually labor variances and material variances are the same, except in labor variance one extra point comes because of which the numbering changes. So L1 same as M1, L2 same as M2, but L3 is new. So L4 and M3 are same, and L5 and M4 are same. Correct? So what was M4? Actual production into standard material cost per unit of output. So here also same thing. Actual production into standard labor cost per unit of output. But sometimes if actual production is not given, then you can use standard labor hours into standard labor rate. SH. We didn't come across SH no anywhere. So you can use SH, standard hours, if this is not given. That is, this component is not given. There also same thing. If actual production is not given for M4, you can use standard quantity, SQ. You can actually make a note of that. If this is not given, you can use standard quantity into standard rate. Guys, okay? Similarly, in labor, if actual production is not given, standard labor hours, that is SH into SR, can be used. Okay? So same, L1 was AH into AR. L2 was AH into SR. L3 was AHW into SR. AHW is actual hours minus idle time. Correct? L4 was AHW in standard ratio into SR. Correct? And the last one, actual production into standard labor cost per unit of output. If that is not there, SH into SR. Okay, now how do you calculate? See this? So we have labor cost variance overall, just like material cost variance. Now this is divided into two parts. Labor rate variance, deviations because of the price, correct, or the rate. Labor efficiency variance, there it is usage. You cannot call usage, you cannot call labor usage variance. It is like, you know, using people. It's not right. So we say labor efficiency variance. Okay. Now labor efficiency variance can be divided into three types. This labor efficiency variance is arising because of these three reasons. Labor idle time variance, because of differences in idle time. Okay. Labor mix variance. Labor mix variance is also called as labor gang variance. So again, same thing. A particular product has to be manufactured by using 2 people from this group, 1 person from this group, 3 people from this group. I have not used it in that ratio, used it in some other ratio. So mixed variance will arise. And labor yield variance. Same. Like material mix and material yield. So now how do you calculate? So this first one, labor cost variance. Same logic. M4 minus M1. So L5 minus L1. Okay. Now L2 comes in the middle. So L2 minus L1. And here L5 minus L2. So this first, then this. So now L5 minus L2 is there, right? Now things will change a little. Now what will happen? L3 will come in the middle. So you will have L3 minus L2. But now in this L3 minus L2, L4 will come in the middle. Okay. So you will have L4 minus L3. L4 minus L3. And now L5 will come in the middle. So you will have L5 minus L4. So in labor, every step of the way somebody is coming in the middle. Okay, every step of the way somebody is coming in the middle. Unlike in material, everyone gets to be with everyone there. Okay, here somebody is becoming kebab mein haddi every time. So up to here it's the same. L5 minus L1, L2 minus L1, L5 minus L2. Then L3 comes. He takes away L2. Now L5 doesn't get to be with L3. Why? Because L3 minus L2 comes. But now L4 comes off in the middle. So L4 minus L3. Now again this cannot complete. Why? L5 comes off in the middle. So L5 minus L4. Combination of both variable overhead and fixed overhead. Guys, variable overhead is very, very simple. Okay, variable overhead cost variance. So variable overhead cost variance is divided into two types. Variable overhead expenditure variance and variable overhead efficiency variance. This expenditure variance is like your material price variance and efficiency variance is like your material usage variance. Or labor rate variance, this is equal to, and this is like your labor efficiency variance. Okay, very similar. So we have only three things that we will be using in variable overheads: VO1, VO2, VO3. Guys, VO1 is actual overhead incurred, just like M1. What was M1? AQ into AR. So this is also the same thing. So sometimes it is given in the problem already. So if it is given, you take it. If it is not given, you need to calculate. Now overheads can be calculated in two ways. You can calculate per hour or you can calculate per unit. Okay. So it may be given. So how do we calculate if it is given per hour? You take number of hours. Since this is actual overhead, then what will the formula be? Actual hours worked into actual variable overhead per hour. So if you're taking actual hours, overhead also should be per hour. Is it okay? If you're taking units, then actual output into actual variable overhead actual variable overhead rate per unit of output. Is it okay? So if hours are given, you take rate per hour. If units are given, then you take your variable overhead rate per unit. Okay, but usually this will be given. Okay, if it is not given, then you can calculate. Ultimately, the aim of calculation is VO1 is like M1, actual into actual. M1 was also actual into actual. Guys, is it okay? Now VO2. VO2 is like M2. What was M2? Actual quantity into standard rate. Same. See this? Standard variable overhead cost for actual hours worked. So actual hours worked into standard variable overhead rate per hour. Correct? Actual into standard. Now the question is, how do you calculate this particular figure? Standard variable overhead rate per hour. How do you calculate it? Okay, standard. So everything should be standard. So budgeted variable overhead, which means total variable overhead divided by total hours. Please remember, both should be standard. Why? Because you're calculating standard variable overhead rate per hour. Guys, okay? Everyone? Next, VO3 is like M4. What was M4? Actual production into standard material cost per unit of output. So VO3 is like that. See this? Actual output. So if I'm taking actual output, then standard variable overhead rate per unit of output. Correct? There it was standard material cost per unit of output, because that is material. Here it is variable overhead. So it should be standard variable overhead rate per unit of output. That's what I've given here. So this will not be directly given in the problem. So how do you calculate? This is standard variable overhead rate, correct, per unit of output. So total variable overhead divided by total output will give you rate per unit of output. But please remember, both have to be standard, guys. Both have to be standard. That's why I've written budgeted. Budgeted and standard are the same. Is it okay? Why? Because we're calculating standard variable overhead rate. So this is very, very simple. Variable overheads are just like material, copy paste, except for that M3 element. There is no division of actual hours in standard ratio. That is not there. Otherwise, VO1 is like M1, VO2 is like M2, and VO3 is like M4. Okay. So see here, variable overhead cost variance. So this is divided into variable overhead expenditure variance, variable overhead efficiency variance. So how do you calculate? Highest is VO3 here. So VO3 minus VO1. Now VO2 will enter. So VO2 minus VO1. Now VO3 minus VO2. Guys, okay? Everyone? So this is variable overhead variances. Now coming to fixed overhead variances. Guys, fixed overhead variances are like none other. No comparison. It's very different. Fully different. Okay. So fixed overhead variances can be divided into fixed overhead cost variance. You have fixed overhead expenditure variance, fixed overhead volume variance. Volume variance. And this fixed overhead volume variance can be divided into three types: fixed overhead efficiency variance, capacity variance, calendar variance. Okay. Yeah. So now coming to fixed overheads. Guys, this is fully different. Okay. So fixed overheads has 5 variants: FO1, FO2, FO3, FO4, FO5. Okay, so let's see what is FO1. Actual fixed overheads. Actual fixed overheads. So either it is directly given in the problem. Suppose it is not given in the problem, then you can calculate. So how will you calculate? You can calculate on the basis of hours. You can also calculate on the basis of output, just like what we did for variable overhead. So if you are taking hours, so actual hours, what will you multiply with hours? Actual fixed overhead rate per hour. Obviously, hours has to be multiplied with overhead rate per hour. Suppose you are calculating on output, then actual output, then into actual fixed overhead rate per unit. So whatever you want, you can use. Okay. So either it's directly given, and most probably 99% this will be directly given in the problem. Okay. Suppose it's not, then you can calculate it. Okay. Next. FO2 is budgeted fixed overhead. Guys, budgeted fixed overhead. So this was fully actual. Now this is fully budgeted. So again, it could be directly given in the problem. Okay. If it is not given in the problem, then you can calculate. So how will you calculate? Guys, this is budgeted. Budgeted means standard. So standard into standard. Here actual. Actual into actual. So here standard into standard. What? Again on the basis of hours or output. So if you are taking hours, budgeted hours into standard fixed overhead rate per hour. So standard into standard. If we are taking output, budgeted output into standard fixed overhead rate per unit of output. So again standard into standard. So actual will be actual into actual. Budgeted will be standard into standard. Budgeted, standard, same thing. Guys, okay? Everyone? Now FO3. What is FO3? Standard fixed overhead based on actual days. Standard fixed overhead based on actual days. So obviously FO3 will be actual days into. Now fixed overhead rate should be on the basis of days. I am multiplying days. So fixed overhead rate per day has to be used. Yes or no? And if I am using fixed overhead rate per day, which one will I use? Budgeted or actual? Budgeted, because it's saying standard fixed overhead. Standard fixed overhead based on actual days. So actual days into standard fixed overhead rate per day. Now this standard fixed overhead rate per day will not be given in the problem. You have to calculate. How? It is standard fixed overhead rate per day. So if I have my total fixed overheads and if I have my total days, can I not calculate standard fixed overhead rate per day? Yes. So budgeted fixed overheads divided by budgeted days, because I am calculating standard fixed overhead rate per day. So both should be standard or budgeted, whatever the case may be. Both are the same. Guys, okay? So just like the way you calculated for days, no, now you will calculate for hours and units. So FO4 is standard fixed overhead rate based on actual hours. So this is actual hours into, now what? Standard fixed overhead rate per hour. Because you are multiplying hours. Yes or no? So how do you calculate standard fixed overhead rate per hour? Same. Total budgeted fixed overhead divided by budgeted hours. You will get your standard fixed overhead rate per hour. Is it okay? Yes. Last one. FO5. Standard fixed overhead rate based on actual output. So FO3 was days. FO4 was hours. FO5 is output. Yes. So FO5 actual output into standard fixed overhead rate per unit of output. So how do you get standard fixed overhead rate per unit of output? Total budgeted fixed overhead divided by budgeted units or budgeted output or standard output, whatever be the case. You will get your standard fixed overhead rate per unit of output. You multiply that with actual output. Please remember, output can be multiplied only with rate per unit of output. Days can be multiplied only with rate per day. And hours can be multiplied only with rate per hour. So that's why I have calculated this. Guys, is it okay? So now how do you put this in the form of that chart? Fixed overhead cost variance. is split into fixed overhead expenditure variance, fixed overhead volume variance. Now fixed overhead volume variance is split into fixed overhead calendar variance, fixed overhead capacity variance, and fixed overhead efficiency variance. So calendar, capacity, efficiency, this is the order. So expenditure, volume, under volume, calendar, capacity, efficiency, CCE. Is it okay? Calendar, capacity, efficiency. Now, the formula structure of this is the same as labor. L5 minus L1. So, FO5 minus FO1. Now what comes? FO2. So, FO2 minus FO1 first goes here. Then FO5 minus FO2, it comes here. Now FO3 interferes. So what do you get? FO3 minus FO2. But 3 and 5 don't get paired because FO4 comes into the middle. So FO4 minus FO3. Again 4 and 2 don't get paired. Why? FO5 comes into the middle. So FO5 minus FO4. Guys, is this okay?